On August 13, 2018, in the quiet suburban town of Frederick, Colorado, a normal summer morning slowly turned into the beginning of one of the most disturbing family murder cases in modern American history. A pregnant woman and her two little girls were reported missing. Within days, the world would learn that the danger was not outside the home. It was inside. Chris Watts appeared to be an ordinary husband and father. He worked as an oil field operator. He lived in a comfortable house with his wife Shanann Watts and their daughters, 4-year-old Bella and 3-year-old Celeste. Shanann was 15 weeks pregnant with their unborn son, Nico. On social media, their life looked happy and full of love. Shanann often posted videos of family moments, birthday parties, and daily routines. To outsiders, they seemed like the perfect American family, but behind closed doors, things were falling apart. Financial stress had been building for years. The couple had declared bankruptcy before. There were debts, credit cards, and tension. At the same time, Chris had started changing. He began working out intensely. He lost weight. He paid more attention to his appearance. He became distant from Shanann. Unknown to her, Chris was having an affair with a co-worker. He had told this woman that he was separated and nearly divorced. He spoke about wanting a fresh start and a new life. Instead of confronting his marriage honestly, he began imagining a future without his family. On the early morning of August 13, Shanann returned home from a business trip around 1:48 a.m. A neighbor's security camera captured her walking to the front door. It would be the last time she was seen alive. Sometime after she entered the house, an argument began. What exactly was said may never be fully known. But what is known is that Chris strangled Shanann in their bedroom. She was pregnant. She fought for her life. But he overpowered her. After killing his wife, he made a decision that would shock the world. Even more. He did not stop there. He placed Shanann's body in his truck. His two daughters, still alive at that point according to his later confession, were also put into the vehicle. In the early hours before sunrise, he drove to a remote oil site owned by his company. During that drive, his daughters sat in the back seat, only feet away from their mother's body. At the oil field site, he smothered his daughters one by one. Bella, the older child, reportedly asked, "Daddy, no." Those words would later haunt the public when details were revealed. Chris then buried Shanann in a shallow grave. He placed the bodies of his daughters into separate oil tanks. The brutality and cold calculation stunned investigators and the nation. Later that morning, Shanann's close friend became worried when she could not reach her. Shanann had a doctor's appointment that she missed, which was unusual. The friend drove to the house and rang the doorbell repeatedly. When there was no answer, she contacted police. An officer arrived for a welfare check. Chris came home from work and acted confused. He said Shanann had taken the girls after an emotional discussion about separation. He claimed he did not know where they went. But something felt wrong. Shanann's purse was still inside the house. Her phone was found between couch cushions. Her car was still in the garage. Her medication was untouched. Nothing suggested she had planned to leave. Police reviewed surveillance footage from a neighbor's security camera. It showed Chris backing his truck into the driveway early that morning and loading items for several minutes. His behavior appeared nervous as he watched the footage with officers. He swayed slightly and kept his hands on his head. The next day, he gave a television interview outside his home. Standing in front of cameras, he pleaded for his family's return. He said he wanted them back. He said he loved them. He appeared calm, almost emotionless. Viewers later described his body language as unsettling. As investigators continued questioning him, inconsistencies began to appear. Detectives arranged a polygraph test. Chris agreed, saying he had nothing to hide. He failed. After being confronted with the results, he changed his story. He claimed that Shanann had killed their daughters in a fit of rage, and that he strangled her in anger after discovering what she had done. It was an attempt to shift blame. But investigators did not believe him. Under continued pressure, Chris Watts confessed to killing Shanann and his daughters. He admitted to planning aspects of the crime and disposing of their bodies at his work site. The public reaction was immediate and intense. How could a father kill his own children? How could a husband murder his pregnant wife? And how could he stand calmly in front of cameras pretending to be a grieving father? As more details came out, the motive appeared painfully selfish. He wanted freedom. He wanted to continue his relationship with his girlfriend without the responsibility of a family. Divorce would have been expensive. Child support would have tied him to his past. Murder, in his mind, was a shortcut. In November 2018, Chris Watts pleaded guilty to multiple counts of first-degree murder, unlawful termination of a pregnancy, and tampering with deceased human bodies. By pleading guilty, he avoided the death penalty. During sentencing, emotional victim impact statements were read in court. Shanann's family spoke about their loss, their anger, and their heartbreak. The courtroom was silent as the judge described the crime as evil and horrific. Chris Watts was sentenced to 5 life sentences, without the possibility of parole, plus additional years for related charges. He was transferred to a high-security prison in Wisconsin for his safety. The Watts family home became a dark symbol of hidden tragedy. What once appeared to be a loving household was revealed as the scene of calculated betrayal. The case sparked nationwide conversations about domestic violence, narcissism, financial stress, and the hidden warning signs inside relationships. Many people revisited the television interview and interrogation footage, analyzing every facial expression and word. Experts suggested that Chris displayed traits of emotional detachment and extreme self-interest. But no psychological explanation could erase the horror of what happened. The most disturbing element of this case is not just the crime itself. It is the contrast between appearance and reality. On social media, the family smiled. They celebrated birthdays. They shared laughter. But beneath that surface, resentment and secrets were growing. The Watts family murders remain one of the most haunting examples of family annihilation in modern American history. It reminds us that sometimes the greatest dangers are not strangers in the dark. They are the people we trust the most. A quiet neighborhood. A smiling husband. 2 innocent children. A pregnant mother with dreams for the future. All destroyed by one man's selfish desire for a new beginning. And today, Chris Watts sits in prison, serving life sentences, while the memory of Shanann, Bella, Celeste, and baby Nico lives on in the hearts of those who love them. This case will forever stand as a chilling reminder that evil does not always announce itself loudly. Sometimes, it hides behind a calm voice, a friendly smile.